I joined up with Ronnie and his band. It was basically Elf in the beginning on the first record. And we had some fun in the studio because the drummer was so eccentric. You know, the drummer, when we did the first record with Elf, the drummer Gary, he had got a problem with his eye. This is one of the stories. And he went to the doctor going, I've got this big problem with my eye, what shall I do? And the doctor said, look, I'm going to give you some ointment to put on your eye. And but you have to keep it on. You're going to be blind, temporarily blind in the eye for a week. So, you know, you're going to have to wear a patch and then you'll be okay because you've done some damage to the cornea, you know. He said, oh, okay. So he took the ointment and put it in the other eye. So now he's nearly totally blind, you know. He's got both eyes, you know, there's a problem. That was the first time I met Gary, you know. He was such a fantastic guy. What a wonderful person. I mean, he's just an angel as a person. And he's going, oh, I put the stuff in the wrong eye now. I'm blind in both eyes. You know. So that was the first time I met him. Then I watched him on stage and with Elf, because I always used to watch them. They were a great band. And Gary was a brilliant drummer in places. He was incredible. And one night he's playing away and Ronnie Dio is doing this ballad. It's very calm. And Gary has to just touch the cymbals. Of course, he hits the cymbal and the cymbal starts to come off the rostrum, starts to go forward. And Ronnie is singing this very angelic song. So Gary now lunges forward to try and catch the cymbal because that's now going down. And he knocks all the drums over. So, you know, I've forgotten what song it was, but you can imagine Ronnie is singing la 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 la, bang, crash, and the drummer is now collapsed behind him, all over his drums. And Ronnie's just like, you know, he didn't kind of, he just had this way of looking at someone when he didn't, like full of disgust, like, you did it again. What's wrong with you? Another time, Gary, you know, unfortunately he's passed on now, but I think he would like to hear these stories. I watched him one night doing the drum solo, and he's doing this incredible drum solo, and he throws the stick up. And of course, the lights come on above him, and now he can't see it. He's thrown the stick up and gone, and it goes straight down in his eye, and he goes, oh! So now he's collapsed again on the drums, and it was every night. You never knew what he was going to do. And he came to me one day, and he said, I'm so miserable because, you know, I'm so upset. I said, what's the problem? He said, everything I do is wrong. And he came to my room on tour in the Holiday Inn, and I was just having room service. I said, well, come on in, tell me about it. He said, I'm just so upset. I bought these clogs. I walked out of the shop and I twisted my ankle and fell down. And then he couldn't play the drums anymore. So the band doesn't have a drummer. So it was never ending. So he came into my room and I went, well, you know, Gary, you know, everybody loves you. It's just a few accidents, you know, it's no big place. He said, no, he said, everything I do is wrong. He said, and he was like nearly crying. And I'm like, oh, it's all right. And he said, oh, well, thanks for talking to me. And then he goes to get up to leave the room, and he catches his foot in the cable of the lamp standard that's there. And now he pulls that down, that comes down, it hits all my food goes on the floor. And now he's like, oh my God, he said, I've done it again. And he runs out crying, you know, and I'm like, no, it's all right, Gary, it's all right. I can get some more room service, the lamp is okay. Everything was smashed. It was like, so it was, and the next time I saw him, which was years later in Hammerheads in Long Island, and he liked that story. And I saw him, because I went especially to see him, because I knew he was coming to town to play with a different band. And he couldn't speak, because his jaw was wired shut. And I went, what's that? He said, I can't speak. And I'm like, well, what happened? He said, and he managed to tell me the story. He said, some guy thought I was somebody else, and he came in and beat me up. Somebody had come in and beaten him up, and then gone, well, you're going out with my girlfriend, and he wasn't. He got the wrong guy, but because of being beaten up, he had to wire his jaws shut. And I'm like, poor Gary. My God, it never ends. And we'd be in the studio with Gary, doing the Rainbow record. And then Gary would put on the headphones and he would learn the song. And we're playing away. And one of these things, he'd be playing the drums like this, and his headphones would start to move. And he'd be trying to keep them on. Of course, halfway through the record, bang, crash. They'd fall on the snare and we'd go, what's going on? Stop. Oh, I'm sorry about that. So in the end, he had to put the headphones on, and they were taped. They taped his head up so they wouldn't fall off. So he's now got headphones taped to his head with gaffer tape. That was really funny. And then we go, okay, Gary, count it in. And he go, okay. And he was always a very nervous guy. And he'd go, right, 1, 2, 1. And he'd stop. And we go, what? He goes, oh, I thought someone said stop. I thought I heard someone say stop. And we go, no one said stop. Oh, okay, sorry about that. Okay. Of course, then he go, right, 1, 2. And we go, what? And he'd go, I just forgot what came after 2 for a second. He said, no, okay. He was that nervous in the studio. And it was hilarious. I mean, I was just hysterical, crying, because every time he could not count the band in without it being, he was playing away another time. He was playing away, and halfway through he just stopped. And we went, what are you stopping for? And he goes, someone told me to stop in the headphones. It was like, no one told you to stop. Said, oh, I thought someone said stop. So it was brilliant stuff, I mean, it was Monty Python. It was great. I loved it because it made the whole, sessions much more relaxed. So we used to edit a lot with him, but he would do these fills, syncopation, and come back in, and sometimes he'd be dead on, and sometimes he wouldn't. And if he wasn't on, we'd edit. Of course, Bonzo heard that and went, "Whoa, that guy! It's an amazing fill he does it." But it was like, well, you don't know the inside story, which was he messed it up, but it sounds so clever, but he actually went into the wrong timing. It was great. I always loved Gary. Brilliant.